Hey everybody, I'm back. We're going to do these next episodes of Fear the Walking Dead as a rewatch. This will be episodes 4 through 6. And as you may tell, I'm trying a new camera setup for this type of video as well. If you've seen my other videos, I've started trying to upgrade the quality like I promised. So we're doing a little upgrading here. Instead of using my phone and making you guys seasick with the holding, we're trying out this. So, and eventually in time, I may even upgrade this further, but hopefully you like the new look as I play around with it. You can let me know if there's anything you'd like to see me tweak as I'm learning how to do this a little bit better. But yeah, so we did the first 3 episodes, which is actually kind of about the outbreak beginning. I guess I stopped in a good place because now we're jumping to the part where, and let me just be clear, this is all spoilers. I've seen this all before. I know how everything ends, so we're talking spoilers all through this. I stopped at a good place because we jumped now to where it's going to be like a 9 days later jump. So, it should be interesting. I don't remember. The first episode seems is probably going to be the slower one of this next section, but knowing it's 6 episodes and knowing where it's going, I think it's going to pick up and get better and better. And like I said, rewatching the first 3, I greatly enjoyed them more than watching them live week to week with all the commercials, because it had a better flow getting to see how it worked out. So, I'm still loving on Nick, and Travis is kind of interesting and all that, and we're going to see where this goes and see what I like about it and get excited for Sunday night's premiere of Season 2 of Fear the Walking Dead. So, without further ado, let me get on to episode number 4, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so episode 4 has the best ending, I believe, of the entire series, but it's also the slowest episode from memory. I don't think the other 2 are slower than that. But the Madison stuff, the mom, right, Madison? That stuff's really good, actually, where she sneaks out and she sees people have been shot that aren't dead and all that stuff, and she's hiding under the Jeep. All that stuff's creepy. I could have sworn I remember her taking the gun she saw on the street, but I guess not. The neighbor who was freaking out, I mean, that's realistic and it's cool, but it's kind of dull. I'm like, get on with it. Nick going around stealing the drugs, that's cool. The doctor's coming in, all that's cool. I still think it would have been nice if we could have had 1 or 2 extra episodes in the season to see how the camp, how the neighborhood got set up the way it did. I still don't like the jumping 9 days, considering they sold this as see society fall apart, because we skipped a big section of that. The blinking thing, the reflecting thing is kind of cool, especially the way it ends with Travis on the roof seeing the gunfire take care of it. Granted, it was probably, they may explain this, I don't remember, but it was probably just zombies or something messing around, but, because even though this military is being portrayed as not the nicest, they're not just going out and killing people for no reason, and maybe out of fear or something like this, like the Salazar, the guy said. Man, I remembered his name last episode. Now I can't remember it. But anyways, but yeah, the stuff at the end, man, when they come in, they start ripping people out of their homes and pointing machine guns in the civilians' faces and of this family and shoving the Salazar guy down and all that stuff. That's fucked up. That shit is terrifying, because, that's legit, that would really happen. But yeah, oh man, it's the kind of thing that really does get under your skin, but I'm kind of anxious now to get into these last 2, because I remember once we get into this next episode with, the quarantine place and meeting, oh god, I can't remember his name, I'm sure I will learn it again here in a minute. I want to say Slade or something like that, but the guy who's Nick's cellmate, that's going to be really cool. And then, of course, getting to the finale. I'm excited for that because I remember these last 2 episodes being pretty good and moving at a much better pace. So I guess we're going to move on to episode 5 and see if I remember correctly. So yeah, episode 5 is a really strong episode. Again, there's a lot more happens in that episode than I remember happening in 1. But I guess that explains why I thought this series was more than 6 episodes out of my memory, because a lot of stuff does happen even though it has kind of a slower pace. But yeah, the ending is still really cool when, Daniel Salazar goes to check on the soldier that, he had tortured, story about the people locked in the big arena and just the bulging of the doors. And it got a little scarier to me this time because as I thought about it, I realized this is the hard thing to wrap your mind around as a fan of these things for so many years, is, that this all happens in a world where the idea of zombies has never existed. Zombie movies don't exist in the Walking Dead world and all that stuff. And that makes it a little scarier with that mentality when you can wrap your head around it, because I think that makes more sense as to why so few have seen so many zombies. There's been very little zombie play thus far, and even what the characters may have seen, most of them, it was like a fleeting glimpse as they're running through riots and all that. So that's pretty cool. It's cool the cattle slaughtering thing, the bolt pistols. That was a neat thing, especially because I didn't get that until the reveal the first time around, and it's more ominous knowing now because you see it kind of being suggestively used earlier. Yeah, I love the big dude in the cell with Nick. I still didn't catch his name. The salesman who saves Nick and obligates him and all that stuff. And the neighbor from earlier drives him crazy about his wife finding another man and all that stuff just because he's bored and wants to fuck with him. So that was pretty cool. I think he's going to be a very interesting character as we move forward in the series. Yeah, the torture stuff is good. The reveal of Cobalt, it's like, oh no, and I mean, it's just good. I really like it. The military stuff, though, and I'll explain why I can be okay with this, but I do initially have a hard time thinking, even if there's like 100 or 1,000 zombies in this confined library space, they have like maybe half a dozen to a dozen soldiers, and it seems like you could take your time and very formation, clear it out without losing as many people and breaking apart as much as they do in that sequence. But they did explain earlier that, all the men had been up like for 50 hours and all that, and by now it's probably many more. So, exhaustion sets in, the downsides of being human as a soldier, I suppose. And the whole thing with having Travis trying to snipe the zombie, that was pretty interesting. The first time I saw that, I thought the other soldiers, when they step up behind him, when the commander tries to order him to do it, I thought initially that was more of them intimidating him. But I think that's just the way the camera angle was, because I think they're really looking over at the sergeant, particularly the guy over this shoulder, because he's like, what are you doing, sir? It's like, that's the look I got from him this time. Like, why are you fucking with this guy like this? And then I thought, he said, if you think these things are human, then you think we're murderers. And I'm like, no, you're soldiers. It's like, just because you're killing enemy combatants doesn't mean we can't still think they're human and not think of you as murderers. But again, that's all just really nitpick and just my kind of, I guess, personal philosophies or anything. But yeah, really cool episode. Five is when I really started to like the show. 6 is going to be fun because, I remember what happens, right? He lets all the zombie hell is going to break loose, and people are going to make poor decisions they're going to regret. And then it gets a little slow at the end, but sets up season 2 pretty well. So I guess I'm kind of excited to get to it, so I'm going to do that. See you in a sec. So, obviously look a little different, doesn't match up with the other shots. Could have sworn I hit record last night when I started to talk about episode 6. I distinctly remember talking about episode 6, but apparently forgot to hit the record button. One of the many joys of trying out new systems of doing things. So professional, that's me right there. Anyways, let me conclude this. So episode 6 was excellent. It does, it's not really that slow at the end, but some of the things I pointed out was this time when Maria, the ex-wife, see now I'm already forgetting names again, the ex-wife did get bit in the escape. You can't actually hear the chomp when it happens. That was kind of cool. Of course, all the zombie carnage and the soldier carnage is really great and a lot of fun. Travis letting that soldier dude go and coming back to bite him in the butt, man. I remember, butt man. Okay, yeah, forget that part. I remember watching it live. I had the same feeling I still had watching on the rewatch, that when the military dude comes back and shoots Ophelia, it feels like she got shot in the head. And when I watched it live, there was a commercial break and all that, and I was sure. So I was surprised to find out it was just in the shoulder and she didn't die. I mean, they may do something great with her in the future. I just think it could have been more of a striking moment if she actually died. But it was cool seeing Travis finally lose his shit and unleash all that rage, and then his son Chris seeing it for the first time, that being a little terrifying. But also he seemed a little impressed, maybe. So that's kind of cool. By the end of the series, I really like all the characters, even Alicia a little bit. It took a while, but, it's pretty cool to see her kind of bonding with her new brother. Sucks that Chris had to lose his mom and go down and see it and all that stuff, so that was really bad for him. And, of course, Daniel Salazar is awesome. Strand is fantastic. I love they took the cufflinks back. I don't know why he let him keep the watch. Maybe the watch was cheap and the guy thought it was expensive or something, but cool reveal with Abigail in the boat. The boat's much bigger than I remember it being, too, so that ought to be pretty cool. They should have some room for interesting visuals when they're in the boat. So that'll save them from having to shoot on the ocean all the time, which can be very expensive. Let's see, what else went down? Because there was a lot of cool stuff. Oh, I love when Salazar leads the zombies up to the military guys. He's like, nice night. They're like, sir, restricted area, don't move or we'll shoot. He's like, you might want to save your bullets or save your ammunition. And, like the million fucking zombies coming down. That was cool, man. That was really cool. So, again, You know, I remember when I watched the show live the first time on television, I started out kind of liking it, and by the end really liked it. On the rewatch, I really liked it, and now I really, really like it. And I'm very excited for season 2, so they can kind of pick it up. You know, they have more money, they know more where they're going. And I think it's going to be an interesting exploration, because I'm not really... We've seen zombie movies that end with people getting to a boat or an island or whatever, but we've never really seen an exploration of like living on the seas. So that's going to be kind of cool. And you know, we'll get zombies and pirates. Now, probably not peg legs and arr matey, but I'm sure there will be versions of pirates, you know, so that'll be kind of cool. It'd be interesting to see where Nick goes with his with, you know, his heroin addiction and all that stuff, because obviously that's going to become a problem. You know, the wife Madison's fantastic. I can't wait to see more of her. I feel like we're going to need to lose one of the major characters at least in season 2, just, you know, so it has that feeling like you get from The Walking Dead that no one is ever safe. I don't know who I would hope that would be, though, so, but it could be very cool. And then apparently Flight 462 from Fear of the Walking Dead, that's going to tie in somehow, so I did do the rewatch on that. That's coming out tomorrow along with the Daredevil episodes 9 through 11. Yeah, so... I really dug it, guys. You know, even on the rewatch, it's always better when you don't have to do commercials in week to week. Yeah, so what did you guys think? Did you rewatch it? Did you like it more or less? You excited for season 2? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you like this video, even though I screwed up and had to redo this part, give me that thumbs up, because, you know, it's always fun to have that. And thumbs up are always, hey, very cool. And, you know, but really hit that subscribe button, because as you see, I am holding to my promises. Sometimes it takes me a little longer to get there than I anticipate, but I am improving and trying to better everything and make everything better. So even in this, and now since I've been looking at the footage from the first part of this, I see room for improvement that I will do for the next time. So, but yeah, so, you know, hit that subscribe button, because we're building something awesome here, and I'd love to have you join the party. You know, welcome aboard. Get it? Boat, ship kind of stuff. Yeah, all right. On that note, later.